Hey everybody, welcome back to Battle Ready Inc., the channel all about bringing you as much nerdy content as possible. Today for you, we're back in Dragon Village M, and we have a brand new dragon out, the Hellkaiser. Look at this guy, he looks awesome. Let's get into this. As always, if you're new to the channel, please like the video and subscribe. If you like Dragon Village M, this is the channel for you. I try to put out as much Dragon Village M content as I possibly can. And if you really want to support me, check out the links in the description below. You can access my Discord server by supporting me on Patreon, as well as other cool incentives for supporting me there, as well as my merch store is located down below at teespring.com, so check that out for all my official merch. So, let's get into this. This guy, he looks pretty sweet, right? And Hellkaiser, I mean, what a name. Any old school Yu-Gi-Oh fans out there know who the Hellkaiser is, you know, put in the comments below who do you know that as that goes by that name. But yeah, so we have an attack type. He is a 5-star. The earth type is currently the rate up. So let's see if we need a summon for this guy or not. Alright, so right off, no leadership, kind of a bummer. Been waiting for a good leadership dragon. Honestly, I'm waiting for, you know what I really want, a crit rate leadership on a 2-mana cost attacker. That's what I want. But that's not what we're here for. We're not here for that. Alright, so this drag skill. Target count of 3. Alright, circular, so we got some decent aim on it. Cooldown 20 seconds, and we're increasing the damage here. Detonates the energy of hell to attack enemies. This skill's power varies depending on his critical rate. So he's scaling off a crit rate. It's interesting. Okay, and that's all of them. Let's jump over here and let's hit that other drag skill buff. Damage is multiplied by 1.4 times. That's pretty good on defense type enemies. All right. I mean, I guess you kind of need that. Defense types are usually pretty tanky. And a 80% chance of stunning enemies for 8 seconds. That's pretty good. 80% chance, pretty solid. Stunning. And that's all 3. That's not just defense types. The defense type is only for the extra damage, but the stun chance is for all of the ones you target. And 80%, that's pretty solid. Same thing, 80% chance. But this one is multiplied for attack types, which I kind of like that better. It's a little bit less, but it's on attack types. If you can nuke an attack type, you're good to go. I would say HP or healers would be better. And then dark type here, only a 1.2 times, which isn't huge. There's other dragons that already do stuff like that on attack and defense types. So you're losing a lot of that damage output, but you're getting to spread it out more evenly. So I guess that's a trade-off, and then still keeping that stunning chance, which I like. That stunning chance is pretty cool. However, I'm not running an attack typer to be doing some other oddball things like stunning. Maybe if it was, I don't know, silence. Silence, I don't care who it's on. If I can get silence on my team, I'll take it. But stun, yeah, it's okay. Alright, first passive here. Periodically attack enemies in front. So target count of 2 here. Every 15 drops down to 10 seconds. This attack ignores enemy defense. That's pretty good. If it's attacking the front row, then for it to ignore defense is pretty awesome. Lots of dragons scaling off a defense for all kinds of things. Same thing, same thing. So all of them so far have almost all been identical except for the drag skill buff. Let's look at this last one. Your critical rate is increased by 20%. We can add another 10% on top of that. Crit rate, crit damage on this one, which that's odd. Crit damage when the dragon scales off a crit rate. So you'd think that they'd just keep it the same across the board for these guys. Alright, so damage output wise, I mean, what are we looking at here? We're going to get this little multiplier on some, but not all, and then scaling off a critical rate. I don't like it. I'll be honest. The dragons that hit the hardest in the game is stuff, still Dark Arcana reigns pretty much supreme. He's just not used very much. 3 mana cost attackers are kind of just gone. You don't really see them anymore, except for very, very niche teams that do they still work. And scaling off of crit damage is just so much better than crit rate. You don't see a lot of critical avoidance teams anymore. You see just evasion teams and tanky teams, and then just the all-arounders. You don't see really critical avoidance a whole lot. I mean, sure, people are going to have it, as secondaries on runes, sure, but no one's going to build with that intent in mind for the most part. So scaling off a crit rate, you don't need your crit rate over a certain percentage. If you're using like Kathos as your tamer, you're going to get almost 20% right there. Crit rate, as well as maybe you got a leadership on a dragon's giving you crit rate. There's some that are out there. Probably not, though. More than likely, if you're running this guy, you're probably not running anything that's giving you a crit rate buff. But then it's just so easy. You can get it off of substats. I mean, if you could max it out, you could get 60% off of substats alone. I mean, that's perfect. That's not going to happen. But, I mean, you could get a 30 to 40 crit rate off of substats alone, plus the 20% from Kathos. If you're running something like Ilon's going to give you like another 30 or 60 crit rate, something like that, percent. You're going to have crit rate covered. So scaling off of that, getting beyond 100% crit rate, literally the only thing that's going to benefit you is your drag skill. Nothing else is going to benefit from that, and I just don't think it's worth it. I'd rather have crit damage scaling than crit rate any day, because I can take my crit damage to 200%, and I will get every bit of that 200% as long as I get the crit right. And that's the trick, is make sure you have enough crit rate to actually guarantee that you get these crits off, because if you don't, you're not going to be doing anything. So I just think that the crit damage overall is the better outcome. I'm not a huge fan of this guy. I mean, a 2 mana cost isn't bad. You don't see those very often. And then a 3 target count. I don't know. I think there's better dragons. It's kind of a shame. It's a new dragon. Usually they're pretty good. About every new dragon is pretty much worth picking up. This guy, though, I think he's a hard pass. I think there's just better stuff out there. Stuff like Guardian. I think Guardian is a phenomenal 2 mana cost attacker. It's only a target count of 2, but I think he just scales better in general, has better side effects, that sort of thing, as opposed to this guy. So just kind of my thoughts on that. Yeah, he's just kind of a letdown. This 1.4 times bonus is not that big. I'll pull up an example here of better multipliers that are out there. All right, so a perfect counter to this is Water Guardian. Water Guardian you see pretty often in PvP, surprisingly. Same thing. We're looking at a 2 mana cost attacker, right? The only difference is we're attacking 1 less person, but we're still getting this bigger damage multiplier, and it's to all enemies. The only thing is they have to be stunned first, either through your other teammates who can help out, or through his own ability. And his own ability, the damage doesn't hit until after the effect goes off. So before activating, 70% chance to stun target for 3 seconds. And then the attack goes off to help trigger this. So either his own ability will stun them, or another teammate's ability, and he'll always have that bonus damage against everything that he targets, rather than a very niche thing. And I just think that's all around kind of a better option. Scales off of attack, so you can go, build your crit rate, crit damage, however you want. It's more open that way, whereas you don't have to be stuck behind a crit rate wall. I know there's a lot of people like myself that are very against it. There are some people that are in favor of crit rate scaling. I just don't see it working out. I guess the damage is more consistent, but the damage is less overall, and that's kind of my takeaway on it. So in all, I think right now we're just looking at a pass on the new dragon, which is a shame because he looks super cool, has a super cool name, but it takes more than that to get me to play a dragon in this game. All right, when you're trying to play to be the best, you can't just take cool looking dragons. And I mean, that's probably why you're here watching this. You're not watching it to for me to let you know how cool he looks, right? You're letting me know, You're here for me to let you know how good he is, and I think he's a pass. That's just my thoughts. If you differ and you have a counter argument, I'd love to hear it for sure. Definitely put it in the comments below what you guys think of this guy, and I'll see you in the comments. Till next time.